What's going on, everybody? I'm on a road trip right now, so I figured it would be the perfect time to talk to you guys about the current state of DePIN. And I'm excited, I would say, to talk about this because I want to know what your guys' thoughts are, if you're sharing the same sentiment that seems to be going around with a lot of other people, quite frankly. But for a long time, and basically since the inception of my YouTube channel for crypto, even though I've had my channel for a while, I have focused majority on DePIN, specifically Helium, Hivemapper, Demo. There's been a couple main ones that I have focused on more than others, and they definitely had their time in the spotlight. And I think a lot of people are starting to get frustrated because DePIN and most other altcoins, they're just not appreciating the way Bitcoin is right now. And it's very difficult to stay kind of motivated to continue to make content on these projects, as well as a viewer or just as somebody in the space that doesn't have a platform like I have, to just stay involved, because these projects are not making the money, or the crypto rather, that converts to USD that they did in the past. And it's just a fact. Hivemapper is down significantly from its all-time high. Helium, Demo, GeoNet, like all of them you can talk about, and they all are significantly down compared to their all-time high. And I don't think it's any fault of DePIN itself and the certain sector that we're in. I think it's just the fact that Bitcoin is doing so well. And we're starting to see a lot of Fortune 500 companies get involved in it more. GameStop bought more. We're having the Genius bill being passed, which is going to bring more money via stablecoins and secure stablecoins, kind of like FDIC insurance, but for stablecoins. It's just crazy stuff. But most people are just thinking, okay, now that money can just go into Bitcoin. And everybody is thinking that. It's not just me. Everybody in finance is thinking Bitcoin, 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 just because of the price that it's at and the historical returns that we've gotten in the past. That's just a fact. I'll just lay it out there. And I think with DePIN in itself, yes, we want to make these projects, or we want to participate in these projects because we like the tech. Some of us like the tech, at least. I like it. I think it's cool. But I mean, deep down, I think a lot of us are in it for the money, and there's nothing wrong with that. Obviously, we want to be able to create wealth so that we don't have to work our traditional 9-to-5 jobs anymore. At least that's perspective that I share, is that I want to use crypto as a launching pad to remove myself from the traditional environment and just focus on this full time. And I hope that one day I am fortunate enough to be able to say that I can do that, but right now it's just not where we're at. I think there's a cop behind me. I hope it's not a cop. We'll see. I think I get pulled over if I am even using my phone in this state now. But I think, just being completely honest, that's where I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking. On the other side of things, and I feel like I say that a lot, but these DePIN projects have also been greedy. Not all of them, and I don't want to name any ones specifically, but the ones that have token unlocks for their obvious owners and workers. I gotta make sure this isn't a cop, so I'm kind of getting distracted here. All the people that work at these companies, the employees, that's the word I'm looking for. It's not a cop, we're good. They obviously have these token unlocks, and they have something in it. Like they're working, they're doing their job to get paid out in these tokens. So there's no fault to them for selling these tokens as soon as they become unlocked. People do it when you get stock options in a traditional company. I believe I might be getting stock options, and there's nothing wrong with that. You either hold them or you sell them, but at the end of the day, no matter how far we get down the line, they're eventually going to get sold. So the point that I'm trying to make here is that some of these projects seem to be, and I believe, I don't want to throw like Brad under the bus or anything, but he did bring up a good point when we talked about it, how a lot of people seem to be delaying not only their token launches for when they go on their mainnet to when there's a bull market, but also making sure that their token unlocks are when there is kind of a bull run, kind of calculating it and maybe postponing to make sure that they can launch it when there's a bull run, so that way their tokens have the most value possible so they can sell them. And it's just like, I feel like it's bad business it's my opinion. It definitely puts a sour taste in my mouth to see that companies that I have helped in the past just seem to be just offloading as many tokens as they possibly can, while the value of my tokens decrease substantially. And I don't know if I'm being like greedy about that, because obviously I want to be able to generate revenue as well, but it's just, it sucks to know that I helped some of these projects get to where they are, not being like super cocky or anything, but I know for a fact that if I didn't make videos on some of these projects, there's a lot of people that watch my videos that get into these projects because I cover them. So it is tricky to see these companies succeed and then kind of forget about me personally, honestly. They forget about content creators. They just kind of kick them under the bus. Now, I don't know if that's because Tech Hustler is going around destroying devices, but it's weird. It's definitely a weird place we're in, and I remember being in this spot in about 2022, I believe, or 2021, when Helium kind of died out in a sense, when the token started to tank pretty drastically from its all-time high, and you just see a bunch of people jump ship. And right now, when a bunch of people are jumping ship, is usually when the token prices are at their all-time low. And last time when they were at their all-time low, a lot of people bought up these tokens. Remember, when Helium was at its lows is when HiveMapper was just starting, and you were making thousands of these HiveMapper tokens at the time. Now you're making, I don't know, maybe like 100 a week if you're lucky. But those tokens ended up being worth so much more in the future. So I think we are kind of going through a reset right now where the DePIN projects are kind of bottoming out. Everyone's focused on Bitcoin, and we just kind of gotta shake the paper hands out, to be blunt. I don't know. What are you guys' thoughts on this? I am hopeful for DePIN. I do think it has a future at the table, but right now, I'm just starting to feel like this is not our time. I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm completely wrong, but I feel like right now, as in June 2025, I don't think we are right. I think it's going to take at least another 6 months, maybe even a year, maybe 2 years, for these projects to continue to grow, to continue to get actual use, like companies that use them. Like HiveMapper just announced that Lyft is using their data. If they continue to sign these contracts with these major companies, and it's not limited to HiveMapper, it's all of these other DePIN projects, but if they continue to show that the data that we have worked so hard to set up and monitor and make sure that we collect properly start to finally generate data, then these tokens will finally be worth something. And I think we talked about this, or I talked about this on a podcast or something like that. I got to make sure I get this right exit here. It looks like okay. We just, like, I don't know, maybe token burns is the way to go. Some of these projects, they just can release infinite tokens and it doesn't help anybody. Like, you're continually devaluing the token by releasing new ones any chance you get. GeoNet does a good job with their token burns, and I hope that other projects can continue to do that. I believe Demo just announced token burns. I don't know if HiveMapper does. And that's the thing, that's the other thing, is that I don't really want to put in all this effort. I know this doesn't sound right considering like my YouTube channel is focused on putting in effort, but I don't want to put in effort to monitor all these projects constantly when in the past I just know that there's going to be a chance where they can take the wrong turn, and then I just lose my interest. So it's very tricky. It's a tricky space. But that's the current state of DePIN in my mind. I'm interested to hear your guys' thoughts. I'm not sure if I went on a tangent there or not, but let me know your guys' thoughts. Put them in the comment section below. We can talk more. We can talk on X. I want all of these projects to succeed, but I want them to do it so that we, the users that put in so much work, I got to turn right here. I got to make sure I don't miss this. We, the users that put in so much work to make sure that these projects are successful, because they quite frankly would not be without the people actually deploying these, that we get something in the end, and we get something in the end long term. And one more thing before I leave, I know a lot of these projects are young, and maybe I'm going to be looking back on this video in 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, and saying, wow, I was completely wrong. maybe all that it needs is just time in the market. Maybe all these projects need is just time to build. And I'll leave you guys with that. So let me know your guys' thoughts in the comment section below. I hope everyone has a great day, and I'll see you all in the next video. Have a great one. Peace out.